Hello, my name is Renay Zamora. I'm the owner of Sweet Face Cakes in Mount Juliet, Tennessee, right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. We're going to talk about me possibly being on Next Great Baker Season 3. I've lived in Nashville, in the Nashville area for 25 years this coming August. I moved here from Santa Fe, Texas, which is right between Houston and Galveston. And I moved here to go to school at Belmont University as an opera major. I was studying classical performance. I got married at 23, had a baby at 32, got divorced. I was a single mom for a little while and then remarried, and been remarried for almost 8 years, and I have a little 5-year-old daughter as well. Sam and Ruby are my kids, and we live in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. For the most part, I was a stay-at-home mom. I've been a stay-at-home mom for a long time, and I started feeling a little lost after a while, not doing any music, not doing anything creative, and I started doing my kids' cakes, and I thought, oh, this is fun. And I started doing my friends' kids' cakes, and then my friends' weddings' cakes, and just kind of snowballed from there. It was just another creative outlet, and I found out I was really good at it.
Do you sing?
I sing. Oh yeah, I sing while I'm decorating my cakes.
Does it go with the theme of the cake?
It doesn't necessarily go with the theme of the cake. I can sometimes be listening to Chevelle while I'm, doing a painted cake, and that just doesn't go very well. Sometimes it goes a little crazy. Anyway. Oh yeah! Yeah, that's what I do. No one has ever not been happy with a cake that I've done. They all love me. And they all love my cakes. No, I get really good reviews on my cakes. I have fabulous reviews. People love my cakes. I know that I do a great job. I know that I interpret what they want on their cakes, in their cakes, with pizzazz and my own style and aesthetic, and they really do love it. I've been around rarely for reactions, but when I do hear from my clients, almost immediately I hear from my clients. I did a cake recently that was designed as vintage suitcases with hand-painted antique nautical maps as well, and the bride and the groom both Facebooked me that evening after their wedding, and they told me how it was incredible. It looked amazing. It was exactly what they wanted. It personified exactly who they were, and it tasted amazing, and they were just so happy and thrilled. So I do hear from my clients fairly quickly, and they love it. I'm always happy and gratified to hear that. Random questions. One of the hardest cakes that I've done, and most elaborate cakes that I've done, was one that I did recently in March for Jack White and his record company, Third Man Records in Nashville. They called me to do a cake that would serve 250 people, and they even gave me a schematic for what they had their graphics designer, Matt Jacobson, do a schematic of the cake, and I looked at it and I thought, yeah, they're testing me. This is a test to see if I can really pull it off. And they sent me one of the record players, because Jack White is very much into vinyl, and they sent me the turntable, and they wanted the bottom part of the cake to look like a turntable. I had to have laser cut stencils specifically made for this cake, because they're very detail oriented at Third Man, and they knew exactly what they wanted it to look like. I made a Tesla tower for the top, as well as lightning bolts that came out from it. It was very, very intensely decorated, and it came off beautifully. I haven't had any real meltdowns or cakes fall apart on me or anything. Actually, though, on the same cake for Third Man Records, when we put the top tier on, the PVC pipe that was holding the whole cake up was too tall. and it was about 1.5 inches too tall on the top. So it made the top of the cake round out like this. I was sick to my stomach, but we took it off. We cleaned off all the cake that had been pushed up as each of the layers was being put on. And then I took the rice, the topper, which was the Tesla tower made out of crispy treats, cereal treats, and I cut out a little bit on the Rice Krispie treats and pushed it on top. Save the day. Thank you very much. Cool under pressure. My husband would tell you something very different, but I think I handled that fairly well. Yeah, oh man. Whew, I was sweating, but it was a good one. It was fun. I get inspiration for my cakes from fashion, from fine art, from music, from my children's books, from nature. I mean, everything just kind of comes into play. And I like it when people let me have creative freedom on their cakes, because I think that I'm best when I'm able to just throw it all out there and really go for it. I'm inspired by food that I eat, by combinations that you may not like. Peanut butter and chocolate and bacon. Bacon makes everything taste better. Throw some bacon in, it's like fairy dust. It's awesome. The bacon fairy, bling! When I saw that, I thought, that would make a gorgeous cake. Mila, not Mila, but the shirt, made a gorgeous cake. And I took that because the petals have clear mesh material behind the white. So I made the gelatin petals behind my gum paste petals to kind of give it that perspective. And I thought the configuration was really nice for that. Square cake, beautiful romantic flowers. So that was one of my favorites. Another one of my favorites is this painted cake inspired by the art of Natasha Westcoat. Fabulous candy colored landscapes. It's very pop art. I love it. It's so much fun in that. Another favorite of mine is this one that may look familiar to you because I used it in my 5-minute challenge yesterday. And although I didn't quite meet, I think my design was maybe a little adventurous. But this is what it turned out as, and it's inspired by the work of Tadaro Kinzo. The pattern is the Akiko pattern from his fine china set, and I've always been inspired by beautiful works of art in China, and I thought it was beautiful, and I think it turned out really lovely. And it took me only 20 minutes longer to do that. So if I would have had just a little bit more time on that challenge, this is what you would have gotten. When I'm under a time constraint, I do feel the stress of it. I feel like I internalize the stress though, and then I really focus it. I really feel that I'm getting under a stressful situation. I have a hard time letting something go out of my kitchen not looking the way that I planned for it to look. I think I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my cakes. I think I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my house. I think I'm a perfectionist when it comes to myself. I need to learn from other people. I need to learn from other decorators and designers, and I'm always open to learning. If I'm in the leadership position, I feel like my vision is always right on. I feel like I see the cake in my head, or I see the project in my head. I know what needs to happen, and I can plan it out in my head, and I usually am able to delegate responsibility fairly well. In a non-leadership position, I feel like I'm a really good team player. I want everyone to succeed. I want ultimately the project to come out right. If a team leader isn't giving the client what they want, I think I would probably have to have an individual session with the team leader and just kind of voice my concerns. You know, that's the ultimate goal, is making sure that the client is pleased with the product. I think that that's a good way of getting people to listen. You don't insult them, don't embarrass them in front of everyone else. You take them aside and you talk to them individually. People who are mean to others are what really drag me down. I don't want people to use abusive language towards other people. They can use abusive language to their cake and to their fondant and to their gum paste, but they don't use abusive language to people. They'll have to bleep me out a lot. A high bar was set for me with my parents. They made sure that I took piano lessons. They made sure that I had voice lessons because they saw something in me that they knew was going to be good for me and I was going to be good at. And they made it so that I could achieve those standards. And I'm thankful for that. I think that when we have high standards for people, they meet them. And if they don't, move on. Bye-bye. I really related to Greggy, who I just adored because he had the sweetest disposition. He was such a kind person. He was creative and artful and inspired, and he was just such a great guy. Being on the new season of The Next Great Baker, it would be huge. It would be huge for me. It would be huge for my business. It would be huge for my own personal satisfaction and validation in myself and what I can do. It would be financially fantastic for me. I watched the first season, like I said, religiously, and I see the people who were on there. I see the people who competed, who were so talented, and now they have this exposure. They have this brand that they can be part of, and that is something very much appealing to me, and I really want to be on the show. My mom and dad would be so excited. My mother has already said that she's going to book her ticket so that she can come up to the finale. Or at least come to Nashville to watch the kids. It's one of those. But they're really excited about it and they're very hopeful for me. I was and am a classically trained opera vocalist. And I also have in my heart and my soul, Aretha lives in there. It's part of me, and I'm really good at it. What you want, baby? I got it. Okay, see, there you go. There, I can turn it on. Figurine work, sugar, flowers, gum paste, pastillage, hand painting. I think I'm really able in my head to see what I want, and when I plan it out and sketch it out, I'm really able to execute well in many different skills. Some of the stuff that I don't like to do. I don't like to do cake pops. I don't like to do sugar cookies if I don't have to because there's so many and you have to do so much detail on so many of them. And another type of baking that I'm not really fond of are breads, pies, pastries, scones, things like that. I will do them, but it's not my favorite thing. So for a quick fire challenge, I think that I'd be really good at that. I work by myself as it is. I feel like my weaknesses are time management. And then of course I just said I do well at a quick fire challenge, but I think when I second guess myself is my weakness. The first gut feeling that I get for something is going to be the way to go. And many times I'll second guess myself, and that's my main weakness. That's where it falls apart. My company's name is Sweet Face Cakes, so I'm the sweetheart. Oh no, I can be mean. Oh no. Oh no, oh wait. See that? I will ice you. If I get kicked off, I promised my husband that I won't cry and I won't blame anybody else, but I would probably cry. I would probably break down in tears. I would be shaking. I would be a sobbing mess. I don't take that kind of criticism very well. I think that people can relate to being a stay-at-home mom. I think that people can relate to being lost and not really knowing what they want to do. I think that people can relate to someone who has kids and has a husband and I think that people can relate to someone like me who's found something and maybe even inspire them to find that thing that they're good at and work for it and that would just make their life so much better. It makes everything so much better when you find that thing you're good at. So thanks so much for considering me for Next Great Baker Season 3. I'm hoping that you got some really great information on me from this. I really would love to be on the show, but more than anything, I'm just really grateful to be considered. Thanks so much.